Oh, Breaker19, Breaker19, this here's the Gear Jammin' Deer. Whitetail has got your front door, come on. And I am pleased to announce that I am bringing back Impossible Hauls. Now, pretty much everyone that watches this video probably won't know what that means. Impossible Hauls is a series that I did years ago, back before I started driving in real life. It was absolutely my favorite series to record. I did it every Sunday, and it was pretty much the only thing that I always looked forward to recording. I stopped doing it once I started driving in real life because I pretty much stopped doing all of... Well, no, that's not entirely true. To be honest, I don't remember why I stopped doing Impossible Hauls. I think I just sort of got out of a rhythm with my videos. It was probably once I got out of school and started working a real job, and was just struggling to do videos in the first place. And Impossible Hauls just ended up falling by the wayside. But either way, I went back and I basically rewatched the entire series. That's the other thing. It's one of the only series of my own stuff that I'll go back and rewatch. Just because that's how much I enjoyed the Impossible Haul series. So, I decided to go ahead and bring it back. Now, I did have a new truck of my own that I was planning on using for this series, but it's not ready yet. And I thought about just waiting an extra week and doing the first episode once that truck was ready. The reason I'm not is because the very first episode of Impossible Hauls, it was actually the exact same deal. Because I think that first episode, I wasn't necessarily planning on making it a series at that point. I didn't decide to do that until after I'd recorded the video, but I might be misremembering that. Either way, I didn't have my own truck to use for the series yet, so I borrowed Foxy's truck, Luna. So I figured, as like a traditional sort of thing, for the first episode of Season 2, since my truck isn't ready yet, I'll go ahead and use Luna again. And funnily enough, also keeping with tradition, this is the first time this version of Luna will be seen on camera, just as it was in the original episode 1 of Impossible Hauls, because Foxy doesn't record anymore. So there we go. Anyway, the actual challenge for today, and I'm finding it might not actually end up being that challenging. As you saw, I have a wind turbine blade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run it down the $1 Million Highway. I might actually just run it all the way down to Farmington, because for some reason it feels like it makes more sense for it to be going to Farmington, even though I don't think it actually makes sense for it to be going to either of these places. Basically, there was never really lore for Impossible Hauls. You know, there wasn't necessarily a reason I was going to taking the particular load to the particular place. But if you do want a reason here, it's just a really big long haul from way up there somewhere going to way down there somewhere. And I'm just showing you the leg from this to this. Obviously, in reality, we wouldn't be taking this route, but that's why there was never really lore for Impossible Hauls. Regardless, that's what we're going to be doing. Now, unfortunately, I've never actually pulled this trailer before. This is a stock trailer. I'm using a mod to make it ownable, and that mod will be in the description. But the trailer itself is in the base game, as of, I think, the most recent update. Or as of Nebraska, one of the two, I don't remember. But I've never pulled it before. But when I went to pick up this load, I noticed that the self-steering axles on the back are actually pretty potent. And it might end up not being as difficult of a haul as I'm thinking it is. Obviously, usually this would be an escorted load. But that's part of this mod that allows you to own the trailer, makes it so that you don't need escorts, because it's your own trailer. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get going. Yeah, like, see how well the trailer tracks behind the truck? Like, if anything, I'm gonna have a problem where I continuously swing too wide. There, I'll show off on this corner right here. I should also mention, while I do hope to eventually have my wheel set up in my big truck in real life, I don't currently. I'm gonna take up the stop sign. Oh, I didn't. And obviously Luna is very long. So, part of the challenge here is just gonna be fighting the truck steering trying to get around some of these corners. There we go. Because driving this truck with a controller is not easy. Handling her 1600 horsepower engine with a controller isn't very easy either. Okay, apparently I'm being let go. Alright, so just turn super tight. See, I don't feel like I could have turned much tighter than that, and I'm still... This haul is going to be impossible for the opposite of what you'd expect. I'm wondering if I would have been better off using the non-self-steering version of the trailer. Yeah, for anyone who wasn't around when I first started this channel, or, well, not when I first started, but, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, back when I was more active, Luna is a crazy beast of a machine. Obviously, she is not a real truck yet, though we do hope to make her at some point in our lives, we being myself and Foxy. And she's probably not going to be quite as crazy in real life. Trying to see if I remember all the lore properly. She's got an incredibly custom engine, obviously, putting out 1600 horsepower. It's a 3406 Cat that, if I remember correctly, has 4 turbos, and I want to say they're turbos off of airplane engines. And I want to say it's something like 1690 horsepower, so might as well just say 1700. And then coupled to that, we have a 5+4 twin stick. So you'll notice on my gear counter I can go up to 20 because it's a 20 speed. What? What? I don't know if I hit the... Okay, no, the trailer's just getting damaged completely on its own. Ignore that. That is a bug that very occasionally still occurs in this game. Okay. Okay, that time... Ow. Let me, This is not a trailer that... Like, this is not the style of trailer that I'm used to pulling. Yeah, so the damage in town was a bug. The damage going around that corner, I think, probably did actually happen. I think the trailer was scraping the guardrail a little bit. And I think I'm also probably going to have to do most of this trip in third person. Because this trailer does not handle the way I expect it to. Oh, wondering, maybe I should just set the cruise control. So that way I can focus on what the trailer's doing and not worry about running into the truck in front of me. Oh! Until I have a problem like that, because I'm using a controller and this truck is hard to steer. I am not going to have... Yeah. God, this trailer is hard to pull for all the wrong reasons! And, like, I've used self-steering trailers before, granted, not recently. But, for some reason, this one is throwing me off. I think it's probably the length. I'm not sure I've ever pulled a self-steering trailer that was one piece while also being two this long. Yeah, I'm genuinely wondering if this would have been easier. Ignore that message. This load was... Well, for one thing, I advanced time to make it daylight. But also, this load wasn't supposed to be anywhere near here, according to the game. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying, but what I was going to say as well is it's possible that the self-steering axles have been reworked since the last time I pulled one of these trailers. Because obviously most of the, oversized load trailers in ATS don't have self-steering trailers, or don't have self-steering axles. All the ones in ETS2 do, but I haven't played ETS2 in a long time. Or at least not doing this sort of stuff. I occasionally get on there if there's an event going on. I'm gonna sort of get in the middle of the road, because I'm wondering if that damage is coming from, like, maybe the hitbox on the blade is slightly off and it thinks it's rubbing stuff or something. Okay, yeah, no, I have absolutely no idea where it thinks trailer damage is coming from. Shoot, I needed to be more on the inside. Yeah, I'm finding it kind of funny. This was not expected, but... And I'm on the outside again, god damn it! This route probably wouldn't be much of a challenge at all for someone who's used to these trailers. I am not. Oops. Like, this is only ending up being challenging for me because the trailer doesn't handle the way I expect it to. But that's a failure on my end, nothing to do with the trailer. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to. That's really funny. I'd sort of like to see Foxy try pulling this trailer, because he's even worse with self-steering trailers than I am. Excuse me. Okay, that was me being on a controller. So ignore that. Like, seriously, if you've only ever played this game with a wheel, driving a truck with as long of a wheelbase as this with a controller is really difficult. Unfortunately, my truck, the one that I will be using for the series from next week on, has a slightly shorter wheelbase, but it's not a whole lot shorter. I should also mention, like I said, when I was originally doing this series, it was pretty much every Sunday, but that was also when I was doing YouTube more or less full-time, Not that I had many more viewers than I have now. But, you know, I was putting out a video every day back then because I was in school. I didn't really have many responsibilities I needed to worry about. I could just record a video every day after school and then be done with it. Obviously, I don't have quite that much free time anymore. And sometimes, even when I do quote-unquote have free time, it doesn't really mean that I can sit down on the computer and record a video like this. So, Impossible Hauls is not going to be on a set schedule. I am not typically going to record them in bulk the way I do with 18 Wheels Rolling. They probably are, when an Impossible Hauls video does come out, it is probably going to be on a Sunday. Just to keep with when I was originally releasing them. That was close. That being said, though, there is going to be one next weekend because I'm going to record it as soon as I'm done working on my truck. You know, I already know what I want the trailer to be. I don't know what road I'm going to use. And I am going to, you know, use mod maps again in this series, but I'm not bothering with that right now. In this video, I was trying to get into recording quickly so that it could go out at a reasonable time today. I'm recording this same day. Like, when you're seeing it, I'll have just finished editing it and uploading it. And I started recording just after I parked for the day. So, fortunately, I had a short day today. But originally, I was thinking I wouldn't be getting an episode out this week at all. And part of why I wanted to do this week was basically so I couldn't start slacking on it. You know, because I could have, by the time I had, if I didn't jump in immediately and get one of these out, I could have ended up losing interest again, and then it just never would have happened at all. But it is a series that I want to be interested in doing, and want to, because I enjoy doing it. So yeah, so don't expect an Impossible Hauls video every week. There isn't going to be any form of set schedule. It's just going to be when I feel like doing one and have a good idea, or, you know, find an interesting trailer or an interesting map to show off, I'm going to do an Impossible Hauls on it. Then go ahead and upshift. Well, I think that's the twisty bit about done. This haul was not nearly as impossible as I was expecting it to be. Watch me blow the doors off this Freightliner. He's not even gonna know what hit him. I believe the turn lanes are probably gonna go first. Yeah. Oh, I cannot wait for this game to have sensor lights, though I don't know that's ever actually going to happen, but it would be really nice if it did. Bye, Freightliner. Another red light. God damn it, I forgot about the trailer again! The Jeep didn't know what hit it. How heavy is this thing actually meant to be? Oh, yeah, I didn't figure it would be very heavy. Oh, this is an interesting intersection. To be fair, the first Impossible haul wasn't actually all that impossible either. I imagine probably I'm never going to have a super impossible haul using base game map and base game trailers. Though I probably could have found a slightly tighter route than the $1 Million Highway. It was just, you know, that's a road that I absolutely would have used in the original series if I was still doing the original series when Colorado came out. Which I feel like it sort of was at that point. I think that was when I first started winding down on it. So it's probably one of those things that I planned to do, but then just never got around to it. Okay, I'm tired of these lights. Fast. I haven't actually run through this area in game in quite a while. It's very pretty. Yeah, so I probably should have used the non-steering version of this trailer to make it a bit more interesting. Though, ironically, I'm not sure if that actually would have been as interesting, because then it would have been difficult to control in the way that I'm used to. And not in that I'm not used to the steering at all. Let's stretch Luna's legs a little bit. Don't have anything better to do. And slow back down. Nailed it. Whoa. Granted, I did technically enter that turn lane illegally, but only technically. Like, that's how most people would do it in real life, too. That might be a little too tight. They go around the outside of the pole. I'm actually really impressed by how maneuverable this trailer actually is. Like, it is disappointingly easy to drive when you're expecting it to do what it does. There. Perfect parking job. Alright, yeah, so that was slightly anticlimactic Impossible Hauls episode 1, season 2, episode 1. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to more. I'm definitely looking forward to recording more. Hopefully some that are actually, you know, at least close to being impossible. And if you do like this sort of concept, I imagine most of you probably won't have if anyone even watches this video. Go back and check out the original series. There are definitely some anticlimactic episodes in the original series too, but there are also some real good ones. If you've got an hour and a half to kill, check out the giant silo going through Peru. That one is real funky. Anyway, until that next one, thank you for watching, and keep that hammer down, drivers.